Hey, and welcome to Film Fights with Friends, another amazing episode. I'm Steve Kepfer, your host, with
Paul Veracci, your other host.
Dude, we just wrapped up on this episode, this interview, and it's so good. It's with Jamie Kilstein, who's the writer and creator of a new show that's being shopped around right now called
Blue Belts.
Yeah, it's so good.
It is really good. And if you're a fan of The Office, and any type of docu-series, comedy show.
Yeah,
Mockumentary, yeah, this is right up your alley.
Dude, so good. And I told him this when we were talking about having him come on the show, that it's kind of like The Office meets Foot Fist Way, and he thought it was a great description,
absolutely.
and that is exactly what it is. So we need you guys, before you listen to the episode, we put the link to the show's website on the show notes, and you can go watch the trailer to get an idea of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So you're gonna love this interview. He's what, another BJJ black belt on the show, like our fourth or fifth one or something at this point. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do this intro real quick though, because we do have.
So let's get to it. What have you been up to, man?
What am I up to? Well, we talked in the last couple episodes, right, about this project we've been working on, and we can finally talk about it
because the campaign is out.
Yes, we were working with Paramount to help. The
DVD demand release of Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
Yeah, the digital release, right? They did a social media campaign, and we trained a bunch of influencers and how to do some screen fighting and some basic stunts and stuff. So
we basically gave them a 3-hour crash course.
Crash course. I see what you did there. Yeah. So if you guys want to check out the stuff, go to our Instagram, and everything is shared there. You can see what we've been talking about on the last bunch of episodes. It was a ton of fun, man. It was cool to finally see that stuff out there finally.
Yeah, especially how they edited it, because we had really nothing to do with it. So it's nice to see how they envisioned what they did here for 3 hours and what they put together.
Yeah, totally. The other thing we want to tell our listeners about is we are having a sponsored by Breakfall Studios, our
sponsor.
Yeah, our own self-sponsored Breakfall Studios, and by this podcast, we're having a winter mixer open training and movie night here at the studio that you see behind us.
That's right.
And our Patreon members will get some free giveaways if they come to this.
Do we have a list of what movies we might be showing? Have you thought about that yet?
Well, I thought about it, but we put in our posts for people to comment on what they would like to see. So let's see what
we should give them, like a list. We should come up with a list, the two of us.
Yeah. Well, it's November now, so if you're hearing this and you're listening and you have an idea about what movie you'd like us to screen at this movie night, definitely shoot us a message, man.
Let us know.
Yeah. When is it going to be? It's on December 20th. So at 11 a.m. we'll open up here. We're going to do an open training for a bunch of hours, and then we'll have a mixer, and we can have some drinks and stuff, and then around 6 o'clock we'll show a movie.
Nice. Train, wasted, movie. Love it.
It's going to be great. It's going to be a fun time.
Speaking of sponsors, we have another sponsor that's not us.
Oh, one last thing. The event page is linked in all our everywhere on our socials and everything. So you can find the event page for the winter mixer.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah. So what were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say we actually have a sponsor that's not us.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Stunt Contact. We love you.
We love you guys. Thank you so much. You're one-stop shop for all of your production needs.
Yep.
Whether you're a stuntman, whether you are just trying to figure out what's going on in your area.
It's a great breakdown service. It's amazing. I can't say enough about it. I use it all the time. I was just on there last night because I get my daily email from them on the new productions that were listed. So... And I actually sent out to a casting director last night, somebody from Stunt Contact. So who knows?
Fingers crossed, buddy.
Yeah.
What'd you send that for, an old man?
just be like, yes, that's Steve. I get the old man double jobs all the time. If you have an old man that needs to fall down, I will do it.
Oh, man, we have a new Patreon member.
Yes, we do. Speaking of Patreon, Scott Howard, who is ironically a student of my student, Riley Bodycone.
I was going to say, wait, didn't you make a post? Wasn't he here the other day?
He actually came by to train with us. He was passing through New York on his honeymoon.
Nice.
He had joined the Patreon, and then he came through New York on his honeymoon and said, hey, can I come by and train? I was like, absolutely. He came by and trained with us yesterday, and we got to give him his pin and his poster and his I gave him the last of the Emergence cast signed things that we gave
Very
away
cool.
to all our Patreon members.
Oh, he made out like a bandit.
Yeah, he
As
got
my
a
dad would say.
limited edition Mission Impossible poster.
Those posters are really nice. Those are like vinyl posters.
Oh yeah, and by the way, those are what we will be giving to our Patreon members. We got a whole bunch of swag left over from the Paramount Mission Impossible gig that we did.
Oh yeah.
So if you are a Patreon member and you come to our winter mixer, you will get some Mission Impossible stuff. That will be your gift. Besides getting to hang out.
Even if you can't make it, please join our mailing list, guys.
Yeah. It's fightingwithfriendspod@gmail.com. Like us, follow us, comment everywhere, subscribe on YouTube. We're on every audio podcast portal known to man in the universe. Galaxy.
All of the places.
Yeah, we're everywhere. But having said all of this stuff, I think we're just going to go right into our episode with Jamie because it's a long one and it's just, we could have talked to this guy for hours.
All right, let's go. Hey, what's going on, Jamie? Thank you so much for joining us.
Dude. I'm like legitimately so excited. My wife and I watched the John Wick documentary last night with his pain
and
to
I was
prepare
not
to enter the stunt world. Yeah, I'm hyped.
Actually, I can't say if I was in it or not because I haven't watched it.
I haven't seen it either.
I kind of feel like I've been hanging with those guys for so long and talking to them. It's like I don't really need to watch it, but people have told me it's like I should watch it though.
I don't watch any comedy stuff, but it was really inspiring. I get more inspired like outside of my genre. So, so like me watching that, I'll have like a brief moment of like, I'm going to be a stuntman. And then once that goes away, I'm just like, I don't know. It's weird. It's almost like sometimes your own art's like too close to home that you can't enjoy it.
I was going to say, it's kind of different when you're watching something and you're like, I'm going to fucking call him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, so do you not? So like right before we got on, I was sending a bunch of Jordan Jensen bits to him to watch because I just love her comedy, and I just went to her Netflix special recording and everything.
Nice.
So do you pay attention to like what the shorts that other people are putting out and stuff?
It's so hard. Like I haven't gotten jaded and cynical to the point where I'll like, if I'm watching comedy, I'm like arms crossed, like a magician who knows how they do the trick, like whenever I watch any kind of art, I really try to like throw myself into it. And I feel like that's one of the things that's like saved me. Like I've dealt with so much mental health stuff and rejection and all that stuff that I feel like not becoming like bitter or even cynical or even like, I don't like kids these days calling everything that's like earnest cringe. Like I don't like that either. I try like
you don't use cringe. That's so sus.
Yeah, sus is good. But so if I sit down to watch it, like I just watched Marin's new special. And, Marin and I have a weird fucking relationship. I opened for him when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
And it was when he was going through a divorce and he'd yell at me and then it'd be really nice to me. And then, I don't think we're friends.
So he was your stepdad.
What's that?
So he was your stepdad.
So he was my stepdad. Yeah, exactly. He was my dad. And then, it's like, but he's phenomenal. And so I'm like, I'm not going to rob myself of this.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to watch comedy, it's not going to be like arms folded.
Right.
But I really, really, really have fallen in love with, acting and writing. And I think I will perform at some point. But the sort of like Austin scene reliving of the 80s, cocaine has made a comeback. It's just not my scene. I would rather write in the morning and go to jiu-jitsu and be asleep by 10.
Well, how do you feel about, now that we're kind of talking about comedy and writing, how do you feel about the internet and the use of all of TikTok and all these clips that in a way everyone kind of now sees a show before they get to it? You used to back in the day, like even Andrew Dice Clay, you only knew what you were going to see because you heard it somewhere. There was you had to really go out and grab it to hear anything. Even though it was the same show everywhere. Now sometimes you see all of these clips and you've seen the entire show before you get in there.
Right. I was I'm sure you guys will love this. I was a jam band guy when I was a kid. I was just a little
Of course.
stoner. And
Well,
you know,
he's a fucking he
The only way you can tell our music apart is I have Grateful Dead in my mixes, and he
yeah.
does.
Oh, okay, great. So I used to tape trade to get Grateful
Oh,
Dead
hell yeah,
Oh
dude.
yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
Fish tapes. And I would have all these cassettes, and you would just like send postage to like
Mhm.
some guy in Seattle, and he'd mail you, you know, Deer Creek 98 or
Yep.
whatever. And I really love it. And now,
You can just put it,
you
you can
know,
put it on the internet.
Mhm.
yeah, and I should be so much happier because I'm like, oh my God, this is like teenage Jamie's dream. It's every show online right away, and I don't give a shit anymore.
Yep.
Like,
There used to be this. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry. Go ahead.
no. That's it. It's just, it's not as exciting. And,
Mhm.
you know, I mean, if it's good for the artist, whether I get it or I don't get it, then good. If corporations find, you know, just more ways to get free shit from us
Mhm.
without paying us, or without, you know, I mean, I if I post something on my Instagram, I'm not even guaranteed it gets to my fans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if it's political, especially if it's like left-wing stuff or whatever. And that is ridiculous because I'm essentially providing them free content. But at the same time, like, yeah, I mean, whatever people post, if it gets people to watch their shit or buy their shit or get tickets, then
Mhm.
it's fine. But as like the little 16-year-old nerd that would get so, and
Mhm.
you know, and I love trailers, even when people are like, trailers show too much of the movie, I'm like, it still looks fucking awesome. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for that stuff. But yeah, as long as it's profiting the right person, I'm
Yeah.
fine with it. But I do miss the days where you had to work
Dude,
to
I
get shit.
totally get it. Like listening to you because you know, I had friends back in the day would hunt down the dead like
Mhm.
bootleg
You
tapes
used
and
to have to
stuff.
go to this place
But
in Roosevelt Field called Prime Cuts Music Emporium. They had everything, and it sounded so good. And when you wanted a show, wait about 2 weeks, head to Prime Cuts in Roosevelt
Whoa.
Field, Long Island, and they would have everything.
it reminds me of the early days on the underground forums, right? Like I'll say to my students sometimes like, oh, it's like we would mail stuff videotapes back and forth during the blackout years of MMA and stuff, and you would get on there, and if I wanted to see this guy's fight, they would mail me a VHS, and
Mhm.
then we would just trade, just like what you're talking about, right?
Yes, dude, I got it was I forget who it was. I don't want to say the wrong name because oh boy, were they saying words you cannot say today. But it was either like Pedro Hizzo or like there were a couple instructionals I bought
Mm-hmm.
off of or traded or
Right,
whatever on the underground. And yeah, it was just like
dude.
one of those like black belt, probably coral belt legends just showing wrist locks and using homophobic slurs. And
Oh
I
my
was just
god.
like,
Yeah,
what is this? But yeah, I used to get instructionals from the underground.
totally. But that kind of is a nice segue to talk about blue belts because
Mhm.
one of the things I loved. I mean, we both loved we. Dude, I can't even tell you how much we love this show. But me
That
as an
meant the
in,
I
world
love
to
it
me.
so
It was
much. It
one.
actually brings up what I'm going to tell you what I didn't like about it
Okay, sure.
yeah,
is the fact that I want another fucking episode. And every time I think about it, and every time I think about the show, like when you get excited because you know you're going to get another episode next week. Where's my other fucking episode, man?
That makes me so happy. Well, I'm in this weird spot where I wrote the second episode and my producer is like, you should write all of them. And the second episode is even funnier. Like the sweetness of the end of the first episode will probably always be my favorite.
hmm
But it's really good and it's so much funnier. And part of me wants to write this season, but there's another part of me that I'm like, I don't know. Well, so I wrote it in like a week or two,
right.
essentially after meeting James. I feel like I kind of conned him into it.
We're gonna
In a
get it.
weird
We're gonna get into that because we want to know how you met him
Mhm.
yes.
for sure. But
Okay,
I
great.
feel like that's a whole like going to be a whole tangent discussion, maybe.
Yeah, so I mean, right now, I don't know where we'll be when this airs, but I'm kind of like I've been very impatient before with projects.
hmm
And most of my like success was when I was young and an idiot. And the amount of mistakes I made were crazy. And now that I'm finally making stuff I love again after I feel like a decade, I'm really trying to take more of like a Buddhist approach
Mhm.
and be patient and be grounded and be grateful. And, even with blue belts, I want blue belts to be made. I want to use my cast and my crew.
Mhm.
And I'm also like realistic to the point where if it just becomes something that James can use as a proof of concept to be like, hey, I can direct comedy, even though you guys think I'm just a stunt coordinator or I'm just an action director. And it's
Mhm.
something I can use to be like, hey, I'm an actor and a writer.
Yeah.
I'll also be happy with that. But, when we first made it, everybody, including myself, were kind of jumping the gun and we're like, okay, enough famous fighters follow me. Maybe we should just post it on YouTube or raise money. And I was like, I think there's something more there.
Mhm.
And so we've had it finished since probably December. And all I've done is like send the pilot to some people I love, like some UFC fighters, some actors I love, some writers, just to kind of figure out if I'm crazy. And enough people liked it.
Like your own focus group, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And finally, I'm just like out of work right now. And I was like, let's just Hail Mary and throw the trailer out. And what's so cool is everyone I sent it to who has big followings, they hyped the trailer. And then even though my Instagram has been like pretty, pretty shadow banned since like all it's been is like fuck ice. The It blew up and it blew up for me.
Right.
And it blew up organically. Like we didn't
Yeah.
pay anything. We didn't, it's just so many thousands of shares from people who don't even follow me. And that showed me that it has legs. And so right away, a bunch of people were like, now we got to raise money or now we got to post it. And I'm like, no, I
No,
think we
no.
sit
Now
on
you
it.
wait. Yeah.
I think we sit on it again. And like it just got to one of my absolute favorite actors today. And again, who knows, right? Like maybe it's naive of me to have some pipe dream that one of my favorite action directors is going to see it, or one of my favorite actors is going to want to either be in it or produce it. But at the same time, I feel like if we had all this momentum and then just like posted a Kickstarter, I just feel like that would be a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
And so I want to see. I mean, if my
Yeah.
dreams can come true, right?
Good.
And if not,
Of
then we'll
course.
fucking post it.
Look, let it incubate, right? And it's
Mhm.
like we've heard this story a million times. Like Quentin Tarantino, like Reservoir Dogs was just a film he was making with his VHS store buddy until
Right,
Harvey
that's right.
Keitel got the script, right? And then like Foot Fist Way, which I compared your pilot to,
I'll take
was
that.
was just a college thesis film until it got seen by oh my God,
Will Ferrell.
Oh, wow,
Will
Will
Ferrell.
Ferrell and,
Yeah.
and Adam McKay.
Exactly. Like these
Yeah.
things do happen. They
And
absolutely, you can't bank on them, but they do happen.
well, and if you want to take it even to more like living my dream life, it's Danny McBride now. Like he has continued to just make shit with his friends
Mhm.
who did that. They live in North Carolina in like the suburbs where like their kids just like go hiking and fishing.
Mhm.
And and even Righteous Gemstones, which is
Yeah.
huge budget HBO, it's the same people, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that to me is like,
You see them
that
over and
is so
over again
cool.
Mhm.
in
Yeah,
the shows and out and from in the crew categories. You see them everywhere. It's the same people. He has
yeah.
his crew. Yeah.
And that's how I feel about James. Like I would work with James on anything, whether I'm qualified for it or not qualified for it, or getting paid or not getting paid. And that just happened so fast. But yeah, so I don't like social media. I was off social media when I wrote this. I think that's why I wrote it so
Mhm.
fast. And I think that's why it's good. I didn't have all these thousands of voices of people who hate me or people who like me in my
Right.
head. And at the same time, utilizing social media to post the trailer. And I haven't posted anything since then. And I know PR people would be like, you got to post a thank you video. I don't want to be on there. I'm writing
Mhm.
a new project right now. I want, when someone goes to my Instagram, the last two things are like a picture of me and Robin and that blue belts trailer,
Right.
and that represents who I am and who I want to be.
Right.
And, you know, the next thing I do will be something I want to do, not just like, well, I guess I gotta keep getting those numbers up, or I don't want those new followers to like unfollow me. Like I'm trying to train myself to stop thinking like that.
Sure.
But also I need work and money, and it's fucking hard to not think like that.
For sure. I mean, but what I was going to say before is like the talking about the old days of MMA and stuff. And one of the things that really connected with me with this show and the story behind the show is that I run an independent gym. I'm not part of a big organization. Everything about your show highlighted what I love about what I do, which is the community that we have here. That we, I mean, every single character in that show was relatable
Oh,
to
for
to
sure.
someone that I
You
know.
hit all the students.
Yeah, you
Oh man.
and the struggles. I remember when I first started. Like, I mean, now I've had a gym for 23 years, but it's like I remember in the beginning, like having those stressful moments. Like,
Mhm.
I need to sign up a fucking student like soon, you know,
Yeah.
and I need to worry about the fact that Henzo's is 3 blocks away from me, and Shaolin's is 3 blocks away from me, and the other side, and then
Yeah.
all the
Well,
big name guys.
and what that means, Marcelo's is 5 blocks away from
Yeah,
you, because that's where I was. I
yeah,
was
yeah,
with Marcelo.
yeah.
But
Where
I'll tell you, before that, when you brought up the underground and now bringing up your gym, it's reminding me of like, you know, I've been really lucky that I've got to train with like the best people in the world. And by the way, a lot of the best people in the world have gyms that are not fancy looking
Mhm.
gyms. And like I remember when I was at Marcelo's, it flooded twice. We had to move locations 3 times.
Yeah.
The first location on 23rd Street, where I saw him hand out his first black belt, that flooded. Then we all went to Chelsea Piers, and like that really big hurricane, Sandy,
Yep,
came,
Sandy.
that
Yeah.
flooded. Then, and I remember I was really nervous because like I never played school sports. And so I never showered with dudes before. And I was just the nerd who got bullied by jocks. And Marcelo's, it was like the prison showers or whatever. And I remember like I hated it, but I got over it, and I was like, okay, it's fine. Now I'm a fighter. And so then when after Chelsea Piers, we went to this really bougie, fancy gym on the Upper West Side that let us use their like gymnastics room or whatever. And they had fancy showers. Like it was just old, rich, naked dudes reading the New York Times. Everyone was very lovely over there. I'm not trying to get Marcelo canceled. Everything was great. But I'm just self-conscious. I'm self-conscious. And I, you know, look, I was the gayest one there. So that's not even a homophobic thing. I just am nervous and like not naked in front of people.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we had these fancy individual showers with all the Brazilian guys were like, there's crystals in the soap, and it was a dream. So then Marcelo, I remember he tells us we have a new location, an even bigger location back on 23rd. And I was like, Marcelo, are there going to be fancy showers like this? And he's just such a jiu-jitsu purist that he puts his hand on my shoulder, so excited, and he goes, no, James, more mat space. And I was like, fuck.
That's
And the showers were like just as small. But like the first gym I ever trained at looked like the gym in Blue Belts. And
is that a place, the location is that you just found a spot and made your gym with the puzzle mats on the floor like that and stuff? Or?
well, no, it was like there was before Conor McGregor, Straight Blast Gym became Straight Blast Gym by calling out JKD schools
Right.
on the underground.
Yeah.
So I was a JKD guy in New Jersey. I was like 17 years old. It was like 1998. You know, like Brandon Lee was my hero, and it was one of the Inosanto lineage schools that I went to. And then suddenly this guy, Matt Thornton, starts talking about aliveness and sparring and
Yeah.
all these JKD places. Like they quote Bruce Lee on sparring, but they don't do sparring. And, you know, they don't have belts, but they have patches and, you know, all this stuff. And I was just like, oh no, like, is everything I'm learning a lie? And I really like, I loved JKD. And I went to this Straight Blast gym, and, you know, he was a blue belt in jujitsu. I have no idea the experience he had. He looked like, you know, just a normal dude. And I showed up, and he was like, all right, man, well, there was some jack dude eating pizza on the floor. And he goes, well, go spar Dan. And Dan puts the pizza down. And I was like, spar? He's like, yeah, just go warm up and spar Dan. And
Yep.
I think this guy only used the jab and just kicked the shit out of me for 20 minutes. And in my head, I was like, and I still use some like JKD stuff in sparring. I've like finagled to work. But in my head, I'm like, he's going to throw the punch and I'm going to trap and back fist and whatever. And then just pop, pop, pop. Then I went and threw up. And then I signed up. And then I started training at that gym. And it was so shady in the best way. All we did was spar, and Krav Maga guys would come in, or karate guys, and me and my brother, who were younger than me, we were both children, we would do the challenge matches, and we would just fight these grown-ass men off the street. And I don't know if I have a fonder memory in my life. Like, it was the greatest time of my life, and I miss schools like that. And there's so much of the shit I use is from there. It's stuff I learned there, like to this day, especially in striking. And yeah, now it's like, it's almost too fancy. I mean, I want it to be safe and I want it to be welcoming to everybody. And, and now that I think about it, it's like, we didn't have any women that trained there.
Sure.
And, there were probably some, not that we weren't welcoming, but like, no women showed up. They fucking walked to the window. It's just a bunch of psychos just beating the shit out of each other. We would do like 2-on-1 sparring.
Yeah.
And I really, there is something I miss about that though.
But so you brought that sort of energy to the show for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm also thinking about like, there have been a lot of times where if art fails, all I'm qualified to do and the only other thing I love is teaching jiu-jitsu. So the story is about a guy who he's on his last chance with his gym, and it's sort of me twice, right? Like that would be me if I had a gym, because I'm not good at business, but I'm a very good teacher because I care a lot. And it's sort of with blue belts. Blue belts really felt like my last chance. It was just, I've tried everything else. I've had a million failed podcasts. I've like had these peaks and stuff with stand-up, and now stand-up's turned into something that like I don't really recognize. And I've always wanted to write a show. And then James and I started talking, and I was like, well, it's the whole write what you know thing. And it's like, I love comedy. I love any story that's like dude or gal down on their luck and they just like want to be a fucking hero, like give it to me. And then when I started my Instagram, I was writing jiu-jitsu sketches, and I think I have a good eye for things that I mean, this is what being a comedian is. It's like, you don't want to write the thing that everyone's thinking. You want to write the thing that people go, I couldn't put my fucking finger on it, but that's it. And I have been thinking that, but I didn't know I was thinking that. And I feel like that's kind of what Blue Belts is.
It's awesome. So James, we keep referring to James. That's James Armstrong from the legendary Armstrong family. Just for the listeners who don't know.
I don't know. I didn't know he had a legendary family. I just remember the dude who liked me on Instagram who did cool stunt shit.
His father and his uncle was the original Indiana Jones stunt double.
I did not know that.
Yes. Oh my God. And his father's book, Andy Armstrong, is one of my favorite action filmmaking books ever. It's like it's so good.
He bought it for me.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's so cool. So cool.
I mean, so he comes from a very long lineage of people in the film industry. And Paul and I actually just worked for him on Dead City. We were doing stunts on Dead City, and so we worked for him. But I connected with him so long ago because of BJJ. I mean, we're on Instagram, but I knew he was a big jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah.
We would actually communicate more on Instagram together about grappling than we would about stunts or anything like that.
Right.
So I'm curious how your paths crossed.
Well, he, I guess, had followed me for a while and I didn't notice. Like, we never messaged or anything. And so it must have been like one of my jiu-jitsu sketches, or I was interviewing a bunch of like UFC and jiu-jitsu guys too. And so last year I got married and then I lost my podcast job the day after. And It was brutal. It was by a surprise. It was in like a really gross way. I just got replaced by like a really famous canceled guy. And they upgraded problematic white guys, I guess. And we lost everything. We had to get rid of our house. We had to like figure out a way to break a lease. We had to sell all of our furniture, get rid of our honeymoon, all this stuff. And
that sucks.
it was awful. I mean, we're still like clawing our way back. But my thought process was, well, in those moments, you just go, I can kill myself, or like I can just go after. I can go even bigger, right? And I think a lot of those times I've been like, well, I guess I got to go back to stand up or start another podcast. And I think I did both of those. But I was like, well, my dream's always kind of been to act and write. And I had opportunities way back in the day. I don't know. I was very much like a comedian. Like I just loved Bill Hicks and Carlin. And I was like, I don't want to act. I just want to be a comic. And, again, I was a self-righteous shit in my 20s. And, Robin got me his agents that I was just so underqualified for. So like CAA would send me out on these like auditions, and I was like, I don't like this. And like,
I'm going to stop you right there because you said Robin twice, but nobody
we haven't
know who you're talking
just
about.
So the listeners know, we're talking about Robin Williams.
Yes.
Oh, well, I was going to let him say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, dude.
No. I'm glad you said it. I get weird. But yeah. I mean, yeah. And I didn't know anything about acting, and so I think I just was like defensive and was like, I don't like this. Everyone looks the same. These auditions suck, and that was probably true as well. But I just didn't have a voice as an actor, and I had a voice as a comedian. And that voice as a comedian was like a really filthy, not marketable shit stirrer. And so, yeah, I just kind of walked away from that. But when I get depressed, I go to film, I go to music. I never go to stand up. I definitely go to laughter. But film and movies, like that's what I love. And so this couple comes to look at the house, and it seems like it's like a gift from the universe or God or whatever, where they're this young artist couple, and the girl's an actress and also a producer, and he's an actor. And they go, we're going to take this house, and we wouldn't have lost any money if they did it. And then the owner didn't approve of them.
Oh, man.
And that's when I was just like, fuck the universe, fuck God. Like, me losing the podcast gig, okay, it's pushing me towards my dreams. But them getting rejected for the house, I was just like, this sucks, man. So the girl was Marissa in Blue Belts.
Yeah, there we go.
And her partner was Paul, the guy who did the terrible break fall.
It was terrible.
Yeah, yep. And as instructed, he did such a good job. And she was this producer for like these indie shorts and stuff in Austin. And they were looking for, I believe the character breakdown was suicidal Charlie Day type. And I was like, there's not much I'm right for, but suicidal Charlie Day type, 100%. And so she sent me the sides, and I was like, I've kind of always wanted to act. And then I got that part. And then we had to move out of Austin because we couldn't afford to stay in Austin. And so there's this little theater where we live, and they were having auditions for like a Christmas play. And I was like, fuck it. I've never done a play. I auditioned for that. I got that. And I go, oh my God, am I supposed to be a fucking actor? And that day I saw this dude, and his handle is James Armstrong Stunts. And so I clicked on, he like liked one of my things. And so I clicked on his profile, and I was like, holy shit. And, saw his credits, and I was like, this is cool. Had no idea he even lived in Austin. So I messaged him. I go, hey man, like, so awesome you follow me. I'm trying to act more. Hopefully one day we'll train together or work together or something. And he goes, well, let's get together next week. And I was like, what? And he's like, I live in Austin. And I was like, oh. And he was like, I'm also like, I'm looking for people to roll with who are just fucking chill. because
Oh
you
my
know
God. Yeah.
in Austin it's just a bunch of psycho blue belts who are trying to post something to impress Gordon Ryan, and they're just injuring all of us
Yeah.
old black and brown belts. And so I was like, yeah, let's get together. So we started getting together once a week and just rolling for an hour, and in between would talk about, you know, our dreams and aspirations and film and jiu-jitsu. And you know, he was on a break and he was like, yeah, I want to direct more. And I go, well, if I wrote something and you liked it, would you want to look at it? And he was like, sure. And he was like, you have stuff? And I was like, totally. So then I fucking run home. I get off Instagram
I
and
better write something right now.
yeah. And I go, well, we both like jujitsu. And I was thinking about Marissa, and you know, Marissa is very much her character. She's very shy. She's been pushed around by shitty people. She's never done jujitsu, even though her partner does. But she's also really strong. And so I was like, I'm gonna write this part for her, and you know, she can act circles around me. And I was like,
She's great in the show.
dude, she's
So good.
so good. She's so good. And I think we just ran the lines emotionless in the makeup chair, but we didn't rehearse like the big mental health scene, the parking lot scene. We didn't rehearse it.
Mm.
We just like emotionless, because she's Meisner, and I guess I'm technically Meisner too, which is cool. Makes me sound proper. And we yeah, we just talked our lines back and forth, but that take was pretty much like the first time we did it. And um and that was it. I showed it to James and he really, really liked it. And he was like, I think we should make it. And I was like, yes. And so Marissa found a couple local people here that we needed to fill in. But for the most part, like we had a heavy hitter crew, and that was because of James.
Mhm.
Like Melissa and Stephanie, our editors, are like Emmy Award winners, Daredevil, Mr. Robot, his DP, Chris, also from like Walking Dead universe. I mean, we got so lucky. I mean, we made it for, it was like my last $800 was how much it cost.
The
And
editing, I was gonna say, well, since you bring up the editing, it's so like, because editing for comedy, especially like this, which is mockumentary style, is so critical.
Mm-hmm.
It's so critical, and they
yeah,
nailed it. They nailed it. It was just so good.
Well, also, I'll say that when I was watching it, normally when you're watching a pilot throughout it, you're like, oh yeah, I'm watching my buddy's pilot.
Yeah.
There's always a lot of there was no difference between watching that and then when I honestly went home and I did it and I watched the Office pilot and I was like, you guys did a great job.
no way. That's
Like I
cool.
went back and I watched and I was like, man,
That's why we have
they-
Dwight Schrute.
that's
right
why we
here.
have Dwight here. Like
That's
he
so
brought him in, but you
cool.
guys did like I went back and I watched it and I was like, wow, you guys did a great job. And then
Whoa.
the new series, The Paper, just came out, and the
Yeah,
first
my
episode of
buddy's in
that
it. I haven't watched it yet.
reminded me more of and my wife brought it up too. Reminded me more of Parks and Rec than it did The Office. And your show really, really, The Office stood out.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I always connected with The Office more than Parks and Rec. I mean, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I think, is like in that universe, like makes me laugh the hardest. But like The Office, I definitely connected with, like the original Office. And you know, my only note to everybody, actors, James's crew, editors, and James is so cool with letting me be like collaborative, especially when it comes to the comedy. My only note is like, we're not shooting it like we're shooting a comedy. We're not acting like we're acting a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I want to shoot this like a drama. And I think, you know, the mockumentary style became really popular, but people forget that in The Office and the original Office, the premise was they're filming a documentary.
Mhm.
And then, you know, when Modern Family and Blackish and all of those shows, they would just do the interviews, but there wasn't it was just like aesthetic. It wasn't, they weren't filming a documentary about
The show
this.
was a scripted show with interviews.
Yes.
And
Perfectly
like
done.
what you're saying, right? Yours, you set it up in the pilot, that the context that there's a film crew here filming us. This is a documentary. I mean, what we do in the shadows did that actually. They did kind of.
I gotta see that. I
Oh my
love those guys. I haven't seen it.
It's so good. It's so
Okay,
good.
I'm
But
on it.
anyway, they do because the documentary crew become part of the show kind of at times.
That's fun. That's really those guys are so fucking
Because they
funny.
get to hang with vampires but they're never victimized by them. They're kind of they get a pass, you know.
Well, not victimized by the vampires they're documenting.
No, but the others, yeah.
Yes.
But
Don't
anyway,
spoil it. I want to watch it now. Yeah.
I
Well,
love the fact that you introduced it that way. I don't know, it just it hit all the check boxes for me. Like
I agree. And when it came to your cast, did you hold auditions? Did you have people in mind? How did you
dude,
find
I just Mike,
Mike?
bro,
Oh
Mike.
my God, he's so good.
So Mike,
He's so good.
I say this with nothing but love for Mike, who is a dear friend of mine. I wrote everybody to play everybody. Like those credits Mike lists about being an actor, that's his IMDb. Those are his actual credits. Like he was a co-host of Loveline.
Oh my God,
And
that's so funny.
so everyone is just playing these heightened versions of themselves. Like I'm this fucking failure. We tried to audition for Alex.
You're
so
not a
many-
failure, by the way.
Thank you. I'm working on it. We tried to audition for Alex, and I read with a bunch of people, and we did a bunch of callbacks, and that's my wife.
Right.
And nobody was and in my head, Alex isn't an actress. I just didn't believe it. I was like, are you guys just trying to get me to like hire my wife or whatever? Or because everyone loves her because she's very lovable and I love her. And she would come to these table reads with me, James and Marissa. And James and Marissa finally had to be like, buddy, it's her. Like 100%. Like, because and I was thinking about this yesterday. She's technically doing the best acting because everyone else is a version of themselves. Alex, who's playing this like smoking social media girl, not on social media. We had to practice smoking a cigarette the night before because she's never smoked.
She didn't she didn't look like she looked like a smoker. She totally.
It's
like we'll watch shows and you'll watch people smoking because I quit like years ago, but I was a decades long smoker.
It's like hearing John Cena had no idea how to take a bong hit in Pacemaker season 2, and literally like the sound guys had to show him, and then they're like, afterwards if you want.
But you can tell with some of these actors, like when they hold a cigarette weird, you're like, dude, you've never smoked.
You've never smoked. When they give the
yeah. No, I was a 2-pack a day gal, and I had to show her how to do it, and she nailed it. I mean, I'm surprised she didn't get sick. We use those like herbal cigarettes that I guess you can get off Amazon because I'm like, I will straight up go back to smoking if we're having real cigarettes. But we went to even the night before, we stood outside our apartment and we were practice smoking, and like this old white lady like looked like ugh, and I made it so much weirder. Why I was like, we're actors and we're practicing, and then I was like, does this look realistic? And she just like sped walk off. But yeah, I had to teach my wife how to smoke the night before, and she does do jiu-jitsu. She is not a blue belt, but she has started jiu-jitsu in the last couple months. But yeah, so that's my wife. Mike's a purple belt. Who I met at jiu-jitsu, and I did I've done Dr. Drew's podcast a lot, who I think because Mike was in that sort of like Dr. Drew, Adam Carolla world, and I think they hit me to Mike, or they hit Mike to me. And then, all the other guys were kind of there's this woman, Laurel, who's really known in Austin and teaches Meisner as like the scary and amazing acting coach who I love with all my heart.
By the way,
a lot of them were just her students.
I'm going to cut you off real quick. When he says Meisner, for those of you who don't know, he's talking about acting methods.
Yeah.
There are a few different ones out there. Meisner is one. Stanislavski is another. I mean, I can't go through them all, but
I can't. No,
he's just talking about different approaches to acting.
Yeah, I mean, I can even for people who aren't actors, the reason I resonated, I got really lucky that I ended up in this is, I did improv at UCB in New York, and I've podcasted forever, and I really like improv. And I also dropped out of high school, so I always feel, I don't know, like I'm always really hard on myself, and I feel dumb, like where I'm like, I can't memorize stuff, or I can't do this, or I can't, whatever. Or I could never go to like Juilliard for theater, and what's really cool about Meisner is essentially the method. It's all about reacting and listening. And Amy Poehler would always say this with improv, where it's not who's like the funniest, like the biggest. It's always about who's the best listener. And I really, really love that. And so with Meisner, you're not really supposed to, like, if I have a whole script where I'm like, big smile here, hit this word like that. That's not really Meisner. Meisner, when you're memorizing lines, you're kind of memorizing them just words, so that when we do our scene for the first time, I can hit my lines for the first time naturally in reaction to however you give me those lines. So that was our little ragtag cast. And we shot it in 2 6-hour days, which I'm told is unheard of. And
quite fast, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and we, there were a couple
How long
people
was the
who
episode?
20, 25 minutes or something. How long is the episode? It's
You
something
shot
like
it in 12 hours?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. And
12 hours, $800.
yeah.
You should make a fucking t-shirt.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm kind of like waiting for the right industry person to hear about this, where I'm like, I'm a delight. I'm easy to work with. Like, it was one of the most, James and his crew were like, this was one of the nicest sets we've ever been on, because everyone was just so fucking excited and happy to be there. And there were a couple people who were going to be brought on who, don't even have the credits that someone like James has, or James's crew, and are like, you shouldn't do this in 2 days. You need to do it in like 4 days. You need to push it off a couple months. And I was just like, look, man, I might be an idiot, but I feel like we need to do this now. And I feel like we can do it. And I only want people around who believe in it and who are excited about it.
Yeah.
And you can be pragmatic and, I don't know what I don't know. And we all learn from each other. But like, I just want people who are just like, fuck yeah. And so those people didn't come on, and we did it. And if we waited, because we put this all together in like a month, like including the writing of it, then it might be like a month and a half. James got pulled to do Fall Guy. James got pulled on Daredevil. Like, it wouldn't have fucking happened. And it all happened the way it was supposed to. And we found a gym, and yeah, we did it in 2 6-hour days, and it was fine.
Yeah.
Like, they even though it was mockumentary style, like, they still shot coverage. Yeah, I mean, there were literally no hiccups. There were no fights on set. No one was sad. Everyone left really happy. And now we have this amazing thing to show for it. Stephanie, one of our editors, did the trailer for free. Guster, a band I love, gave me the song to use for the trailer. Like, it just, if nothing happens with it, I'm of two minds. If nothing happens with it, I got to live a dream, check it off the bucket list. And the way it worked out and the way it keeps working out makes me think something really cool could happen with it.
And something will, it sounds like something already has come from it, but it's definitely like,
I think it's just a matter of who this gets to first and when. That's
what I'm hoping.
But I'm remember, like, I've told this story before. So the Cliff Notes version is I got into this industry, the stunt part of this industry, because of a TV show that we were pitching, that I produced a proof of concept, and it was about underground MMA fighting and all this kind of stuff. This was like in 2014.
Whoa.
And because we had Al Iaquinta, Al Iaquinta from
yeah, of course.
So he was a student of mine when he was a teenager. I used to teach out at a gym in Long Island before he went over to Sarah.
No way.
We've been friends forever, and he knew we were doing this.
I got so hyped when he got that title shot against Khabib.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because again, 80s, 90s martial arts movie Jamie, I'm just like, he's going to fucking win. That's the only way this goes. Is he's going to fucking win. He's going to be the first and only guy to beat Khabib. 100%.
So we put him in the show and then in the pilot, and because then he started talking about it at press conferences and stuff, and it got to Darren Aronofsky heard about it, like his people, and he was thinking about doing a TV show. So we had meetings. We had a couple meetings. Long story short, we had a couple meetings with their people. He never made a TV show. It never went anywhere. But I met the stunt coordinator. I met all these people. I learned the process, and I mean, we had to write the story arc for not just a season, but many seasons to see.
Whoa.
They were like, we want to make sure the writing isn't going to shit the bed. But the thing
Yeah,
is, but
somebody
even
was
though,
telling me that they had a show that was taken on, and one of the things that they had to do was write a potential arc for 7
yeah, that was us.
seasons.
That was us.
Was that
We did
you?
Wow.
7
7 seasons.
seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Not
have an
really.
arc. I have an arc for the first season. That's crazy. They better be paying me to do that because I'll happily do it.
Yeah. Well,
But that's crazy.
we've talked about that too, about how much free work goes into
Getting your own
this
project.
life. But
Yeah.
point is the
Yeah.
show was never made, but so many amazing things. How you could honestly, you could trace this podcast and us talking all the way back to that
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
pilot in 24, like 11 years ago.
Mhm.
How old were you ish when that was going on?
Well, I'm 57 now, so I don't know, subtract. I was 46. 46. Yeah.
That's what I was hoping. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm 43 now, and I'm just like,
Listen, to your point, people were telling me, because I wasn't a stunt guy. I had worked in some reality TV. Like, I had been working in TV as a martial arts, like, technical advisor guy, and stuff like that from like 2007.
Mhm.
But then like that happened, and I met the stunt coordinator, and he was like, "Oh, you should think about stunts. You're a fight guy, and you're a filmmaker. You've done a bunch of documentaries. You know all that stuff." And then people were like, "Dude, don't. You're like 44 years old or whatever.
I
What are you talking about doing stunts for? You're fucking insane."
I was just at Terrificon talking to the guy who was Raphael because all the turtles were
Right.
there, and
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
literally, I told him I was a stunt guy. He looks at me, he's like, "How old are you, man?" I'm like, 47. He's like, "What the fuck do you do?" And I'm like, "Dude, what are you talking about?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Whatever's asked of
Listen,
me."
the point is,
Yeah.
don't tell me I
You're like,
can't do something.
take it easy, Raphael.
Right?
He
Seriously.
was in character. He must have been in character because he's supposed to be the kind of like emo pissy turtle.
No, like I completely understood what he was saying because I don't think he had much age on me. Do you know what I mean? Like he's probably, this
Yeah.
old fucker's age over here. But
Well, even when James was like, "Hey, the next show I run, come." James is so sweet. Before I wrote Blue Belts, he's like, "Let's get you your fucking SAG card and let's just have you be
yeah.
like." Because in my head, like, I'm like, I'm afraid of heights. I can never be a stunt guy. But he's like, you can get choked out by a prison guard, and I was like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
totally.
Yeah.
and then we'll throw you off, and then we'll throw you off the building when you're unconscious. Nobody.
Yeah, yeah. Just knock me out, and then just like push my defeated body off.
But James is awesome. Even when he booked us, he was like, "I really tried to get you guys on the same time."
He was, yeah, that was so funny
Yeah.
when he said that. And also, he has this just great calming presence. Like we were doing a lot of crazy stuff. We had flamethrowers, we had fights, we had all kinds of crazy stuff going on, and he just has this great calming presence. Just made everybody feel comfortable in their position, and he was awesome. To work with.
I tell everybody this about James, and I brush by that, and I've been thinking about him a lot recently, and so I'm always like, but I say the same thing about James that I say about Robin, which is like both of them have every reason where they could blow you off and they could be an asshole. I mean, James, you could trace it back to like his family,
Mhm.
right? Like it's so easy for people to be like, oh, he just got it, whatever. They're two of those people you just meet and you aspire to be like, where you're like, that's what it is. It's like the more talented, the more successful I get, the kinder I want to be, the like, Robin is everything you wanted him to be. And I don't like talking about my dead friends. And when people bring up Robin to me, I get ecstatic to tell them that. To be like everything you want. Like even when people are like, I know this is weird because like he was your friend, but like I cried when he died. I'm never like, fuck off. I'm always just like, yeah, like of course you did. And I get it. And he's so much even better than you want him to be. And James, same deal. I was like, God, he's being so kind and so supportive, and he's driving out to my neck of the woods to do these like table reads with a bunch of no-name actors.
Right.
And I'm like, maybe he's gonna be a monster on set. And just his energy and my like blind enthusiasm and excitement, I think that combination made the set like the loveliest place. And even like some of these like independent projects I've been on, it's fucking just drama central. Let alone, I can't even imagine when it's big studios and financiers are there and, you know, whatever. But he's just so talented and has such an incredible resume and could have totally blown me off or been shitty to the little actors. And he wasn't, man. He was just fucking great. Also, I should warn you both that now that you said I can be a stuntman at that age, I apologize for every DM and text and email you're about to get where I'm like, how do I be a stuntman?
Dude, but I remember because you and I first kind of, I'll just say communicated for lack of a better word, but I first came to know you on Instagram during COVID.
Okay.
And then we were messaging back and forth. But I remember at one point, didn't you try pro wrestling?
I did. When I
Yeah.
got to Austin, I trained with Dustin Rhodes here and I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And I actually wanted to ask you guys, I don't know if this is like a too insider baseball question, but there was a lot of stuff that I thought would make me stand out because it would make me look like a real fighter. That's kind of antithetical to what you need for pro wrestling, right? So I'm like, oh, just like keeping your hands up or bringing your hand back to your face after you throw a punch will look real. And then Dustin's like, no, the reason they throw these big haymakers is because you're playing to the back of the audience, right? And same with some of the like the little jiu-jitsu things. Like any spot that I wrote that stayed in had to be big before it like fell into the sort of subtle jiu-jitsu stuff. Is it similar with stunts or not really because you're playing to the camera?
It's somewhere in the middle, right? We always say like you have live shows have to be super grandiose, like pro wrestling or live theater or something like that, because you are playing to the nosebleed seats.
Yes.
But you can't dial it in so far to the way that you would do it in real life for TV because it still looks like shit. It's somewhere in the middle. It's like it has to be opened up enough so it sells
from both sides. So I always like to say, if you ever watch old school Roberto Duran fights, right? They would never, that guy could never be a stuntman because all you see is him and then his opponent's head just snapping backwards and no punches and no, everything is so tight, right?
Yeah.
But if he brought his elbows out a little bit and took a step to the left and threw those punches, the camera would read everything.
Yeah. Right. Like, because even when, like, I always wondered about, like, even when you'd see when arm bars started to first happen, although that first Lethal Weapon arm bar, I remember being legit. I haven't seen it in a while.
Well, that was a triangle choke.
Oh, it was a triangle. Yeah, on the car hood, right? Or something?
Not that I have that movie memorized.
I've been meaning to go through a rewatch of that. But like a lot of arm bars, you'd see like the legs were kind of.
He had his arm out straight, but he had him in a triangle choke. He didn't have his arm.
That's right.
Stretched out.
What was the movie the clip that you sent me of the movie where I said, and just like real life, jiu-jitsu is boring?
Oh, that was the Patrick Stewart movie when he's the ex special forces guy and he like beats the shit out of a karate guy who was like being an asshole to his students.
Not Patrick Stewart. Patrick
Flannery. Sorry, Patrick Flannery.
They had this whole jiu-jitsu scene.
He's apparently a big into jiu-jitsu now.
Patrick Stewart. Engage this arm bar. Engage.
Make it so.
Oh, sorry. When you said Patrick Stewart did that, I was just like, I don't see how that can be boring, but okay.
That would be awesome,
right?
That would be fucking incredible.
But you can't. It's like Red Belt. If you watch the grappling scenes in Red Belt, they were so fucking boring.
I was bummed out about that because I remember thinking like this is going to be a legit one.
They were so boring they had to make him run up a fucking wall to escape for the final move.
Do you know what fight I really liked where they used jiu-jitsu? The opening fight with pre-canceled Gina Carano and Channing Tatum in Haywire.
Oh, good fight.
In the diner. Good fight.
Every fight in that movie.
Really good.
Woo! Every fight, yeah. The gunshot being like super loud and by your ear, and like not like romantic gunshot. It's fucking great.
Or Art of Self-Defense, which we talked about on the show. The fight scene in Art of Self-Defense was great jiu-jitsu.
I used to train with Riley, the director and writer.
Oh yeah, we had him on the show, and you should check it out. Riley Stearns, he's an awesome dude.
Yeah. Riley and I was there.
Have you shown him this?
What's that?
Oh, cracking. Have you shown him this?
Yeah. We were texting about it yesterday.
Oh, cool.
I was teaching where he was training, and he was a blue belt, and I was a purple belt, and then a brown belt. And we were just talking about, I was there the day he got his purple belt, and I knew he was going to get his purple belt, and he was just being like gauntleted, and he was getting so tired. He was like, okay, I need a break. And I kept going like, Riley, you can't fucking quit. You can't fucking quit. You're going to get your purple belt. Just stick it out. And yeah, he's the best. And that movie was fucking great. He loves jiu-jitsu so much that even though it's sort of like a weirder movie, he's going to still take that seriously.
Mm-hmm. But to your original question, I would say like watch. That's why the first Wick movie was so amazing. Like when I saw the first Wick movie, I was like, that is how you put grappling on screen, right? It was like it looked plausible, it looked realistic, but it was also fantastical enough to play well on the screen. It was so good.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
there's
Well,
I think there's also why they, as John Wick continued, you saw a lot of the same thing because
Mhm.
when it gets down to it, I'm sure, we know most of those guys, they have a library of fucking moves. And I'm sure when it comes to what works on camera, they used what works best.
Well, and it's
yeah.
also because of who can do what. Because
Mhm.
Keanu is doing it all himself, and I don't think I'm saying anything that hasn't been said. But he can, people think like, oh, he's training jujitsu all the time, and but he's not. He's doing it for months before the movie, and he's older and he's beat up and stuff. But he can do like 5 throws really well.
Mhm.
And if you watch, if you watch all the choreography, those are the 5 that they're always doing the same 5,
Yeah.
just in different combinations.
He said, Keanu said in the doc last night that he had so many injuries from doing so many of his stunts, like his hip and his knee was blown out, that him and one of the stunt coordinators was saying, when you see him limping in character,
Mhm.
that is Keanu limping as a human.
Listen,
Like his
I
knee's fucked up.
I was
I
just going to say that you can, if you watch, you can, when he's not limping, that's the stuntman.
That's so funny.
But the first day I was at rehearsals for Wick 2, and then the first I was there for the first day when they had the New York unit, and he came in and they had like 15 fights he had to learn. He would learn 3, and then they would learn them in the order that they were shooting them. And so I was there for the first day where he's putting it together, and as soon as JJ Perry was he'd be like action, Keanu would do it all like so perfectly, and then they would say cut, and then all of a sudden his body would sink. He would start limp, like he could turn it off when he's doing it for the camera. And as soon as they're like cut, you see all the injuries and pain and stuff coming through. So I have mad respect for that guy.
That's so cool. That's so fucking cool. I am the only, I told you in the beginning that, I try not to shit on art and just enjoy it. And even if I see a movie I don't like, I'm like, all right, here's what I liked. But since we're getting a little shit talky, all action scenes I love. I still watch, all my old martial arts movies I grew up on, the best of the bests and Kickboxer and all that stuff. And, whatever.
That still holds water.
Dude, just a little spoiler.
So good.
We have the director of Best of the Best coming on the show.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've never looked him up to see like what else he does or what he's
Richard
done
Radler.
recently.
He hasn't actually. He's working right now on
He did a third one.
But yeah, he did all the Best of the Bests.
Except for the second one, right? Or did he do the second one too?
He did the second one too.
Oh, did he? Oh,
I fucking
second one one of my favorite sequels.
Oh yeah. Well, on paper it's like the most American thing ever, where it's like the first one's like the Olympics, James Earl Jones, brother revenge, but then the coming together of these two nations and forgiveness, and then the second one's like illegal casino fighting, Wayne Newton, fucking an evil like shirtless Baracus.
Right? Well, they hit
but
the
then
90s.
The fact,
they hit the 90s.
And it was when they remade Death Race.
Yes, and it was my favorite 90s thing ever because I'm a pro wrestling guy, where whenever you'd have like a heel turn babyface, and then team up with like their old rivals, when the fucking Korean Taekwondo team and Eric Roberts and Tommy are going through the casino and now they're working together.
Right.
Give it to me all day.
But that first one was like, it still was riding the wave of like, I feel like the the U.S. hockey team beating the Soviets. It was like the Taekwondo version of that.
Yeah.
But in the second one, I'll say the greatest fucking scene was when Dahan came through the doors and did that fucking triple kick on those 3 guards.
Yes.
Dude, I just went nuts. And that was basically all they brought him in for.
Well, and I was young enough to that's so funny. I was young enough for the first one where I was like scared of Dahan. And then I have showed several girlfriends and my current wife best of the best, thinking I'm just showing them the like fun martial arts movie that I grew up on. Every time I am sobbing at the end.
Yeah,
I mean, that is one of the most powerful.
Dude, how do you get James Earl Jones for that movie? I cannot wait for that interview. But to your question, you were going to say you don't shit talk much action, but what
yeah. Okay, so the one thing that I never understood, and this happens to this day, why they can't fix is in movies with the greatest fights you've ever seen. Every time you see the actor, this is a big TV series thing too, work in a punching bag by themselves. You just go, they can't fight.
Yeah.
This person that was just disarmed and fought 12 people, he's like hitting the.
I hate that.
Have I ever told?
Is there a reason?
Story?
Well, if it's TV, the reason is probably just schedule and time and the amount of time that you could actually put to train somebody. I mean, it's just like.
Because I guess, yeah, because you can use the stunt person in the fights, but if it's just a slow punching bag while talking scene or punching bag, you probably have to use the actor, right?
It's always like that. Like if they're hitting the mitts, like we went.
Oh yeah, the fucking mitts. It's so bad.
So terrible. The mitt holding. Like we went to see this movie called Day of the Fight, which is not out. It's so good, you have to see it.
But then there's some mitt work and pad work, and you're just like. Meh.
Yeah. The mitt work is just so terrible.
So I was when I was a chef, I was waiting to go to the bathroom, and when the restaurant's really busy, we got to go up to the VIP floor because it's a bathroom to get to. So one time, Kiefer Sutherland's waiting for the door as I go to get there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, just let me go in. I'll be really quick. And he's like, no, I'll punch you for it. So I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, we'll go punch for punch. Whoever wins, loses, goes to the bathroom first. So I was like, okay.
Was this during 24 days?
This is during 24. Yes. So
I would have fucking lost my mind. This is great. Okay.
I am.
So just so you know, Paul was a chef at the Spotted Pig under Mario Batali.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He's like a real chef. He's not just,
sure.
This isn't like some Korean hot buffet place.
If you're in a place where Kiefer Sutherland wants to go punch for punch to get into the bathroom, I assume it is a high quality place.
Yes. So basically, he's like, you can go first. So I was like, all right, fine. And at the time I was training, I was training here or whatever. So I didn't hold back. I had to get down to the kitchen. I didn't want to get yelled at by my chef. So I hauled out and I fucking cracked him in the arm. And he just, he kind of rolls it around and he goes to hit me. And I brace my shit, man. I'm about to get fucking hit by Jack Bauer. And then he goes to hit me and he winds up, man. And I get left-handed anger. Right. Right. So then I go again and again, I got him in a rush. So I just fucking crack him in the arm again and he fucking rolls it and he goes again. And I'm like, all right, he's fucking with me. So left-handed anger punch. And I'm like, come on. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Third time I get him and he's like, okay, fine. He's like, I'm done. And I look at him. I'm like, dude, just go into the bathroom. He looks at me dead in my eyes and goes, works every time, and rolls it off and walks into the bathroom. And I was like, did I just get fucking played by Jack Bauer for the bathroom?
You got Jack Bauered.
He got Bauer.
Yeah,
totally did.
Totally.
That's so fucking funny. I mean, 24 has some of my favorite little fight sequences. There was some good stuff like within that wild roller coaster of seasons.
But he and I became drunken drinking buddies for years after that moment.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So you mentioned in email because that you want to bring some homage type fights maybe to your show. No?
Oh my God, so badly. Yeah. I mean, the first script I ever wrote, my friend Linda wrote that show, Nurse Jackie. That was her show, and she was one of the original That 70s Show.
I live like 3 blocks from the bar, like Jackie's husband's bar.
Oh, no way. Yeah. So she's one of the best people in the world, and she retired, or else I would be working with her. But she's married to Melissa Etheridge, and they're just like on the road together, and they have a weed company and like play music. They're living their best lives.
That's awesome.
But the first feature I wrote, which I'm sure wasn't very good, she said it was like if John Hughes wrote Die Hard. So it was like a much bigger, like sort of like, you know, slacker kids who grew up watching martial arts movie, trapped in a mall,
I'm just
Nazis.
now picturing the guy who played the principal being Hans Gruber.
Yes. 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 That would be great. And
Match with the
so
bull, you get the horns.
so that's always
That was
been
actually
my
from the comedy remake when he did that move. He didn't do that in the original movie.
I don't know. Anyway,
I
but
don't
so
know.
that was you were saying that that was your first attempt at writing something.
Yeah, so that's always been my aesthetic is like I've only and always wanted to write martial arts movies that have like a sweetness to them. Like when I say comedy, it's like never spoof. It's like Blue Belts. It's
Mhm.
like it's a drama with funny people kind of. And obviously like big comedic moments, but it's always my favorite cross genre movies are and comedy sketches like are the ones that like Key and Peele I think was so good because if they were satirizing a genre, they honored the genre. They didn't just like make fun of the genre. It was
Right.
in that genre. And then, you know, you see Jordan Peele, then he writes Get Out, which is social commentary, but it honored the horror genre so well. And so, you know, for me, you know, I'm definitely not one of those people. The Bear is one of my favorite shows. I don't find it a comedy.
No.
I think it's a really good fucking drama. And so I'm
It
not one
gives
of
me
those people.
PTSD.
Oh, I can't imagine, bro. For me though, by the way, especially before Blue Belts, and I thought I was gonna have to like somehow find a job. When I saw Whiplash, I was like, I should get a drum set again. And when I saw The Bear, I was like, I can work in a chef. And then I'm like, I'm fucked up. I got to work on that in therapy. But the with Blue Belts, you know, the first episode, there's no room for a fight.
Yeah.
But like even when I grew up, like the sitcoms I like, not the sitcoms, but like the teen dramas I liked, like when the OC came out and Ryan was like punching someone every episode, I was obsessed with it. So, you know, I do have in the arc, obviously there are going to be competitions. There's going to be whatever the big school, the corporate school is.
Right.
You know, there's room for that. You know, I want Jamie to get challenged. I want Jamie to get his ass kicked. But I also while I'm trying to pitch and sell Blue Belts, also want to start writing that action comedy I've always dreamt of doing. And I want to have that in my back pocket for if someone goes, hey, I really like Blue Belts, but you know, it's really hard to sell a TV show right now. I want to be like, I also have this. So that's my dream. And yeah, the biggest thing that I want to honor in a martial arts movie, and I actually have the characters literally talking about this. I just wrote this scene yesterday, is there was a phase, and I feel like after John Wick came out, it's getting better. But there was a phase before John Wick where there were all these martial arts movies that like didn't have fights. Or they had like one or two fights. And they were like trying to be dramas. So you just had these guys who like weren't very good actors and these writers that weren't very good writers having these like convoluted, crazy movies with like one or two fights. And the way I always know if I'm going to love a martial arts movie is, and I think this is so underrated, is the bar fight. And I think there was a phase in the 90s or 2000s, maybe even 80s. There was always a scene before the main bad guy is introduced, before you probably even know a lot about the main character, where there was somehow some unlucky dude. Best of the Best is a great example. Somehow this fucking redneck guy picks a fight with the U.S. Taekwondo Olympic team and James Earl Jones, their coach, sitting at the bar sipping a fucking whiskey.
It's in every movie. It's like Officer and a Gentleman
Right?
when Richard Gere fights the local guy in the bar.
It's funny, but what you were just talking about when you were talking about the way I call it the Ronin effect. And I feel like ever since the movie Ronin was made, which is a great movie, but if
Yeah.
you go back and watch it, a lot of it is based around this insane, awesome fucking driving scene. It's just, but the rest of the movie is very long and convoluted and like there's the action is short, small, but at the same time, I feel like everyone has tried to hit that mark after Ronin. And it's just been a slow fucking burn for like a great scene and then another like fucking Green Zone with Matt Damon. Just
Oh my God. I remember seeing that in the theater. It made me nauseous too with the shaky cam.
Mhm. But you're right. The bar fight is like a staple. I mean, I remember when I first got into SAG, one of the boxes I wanted to check off was I need to have a bar fight. Like,
Yes.
I'm not a real stunt
Mhm.
performer if I don't have a bar fight.
Yes. Yes. I mean,
Right?
that's my dream. And
You're
by the
about
way,
the right one.
the bar fight can also be, you can move the location. It's sort of like the what the bar fight represents. So my absolute favorite one, essentially the point of it is, this is a guy to not be fucked with. He's going to be battling, he's going to be Bruce Lee-ing it and climbing and battling like progressively harder people. But this is what he looks like, especially if like he's on a date or something. We're about to witness him. They're going to fuck with the wrong guy and he's going to pulverize these guys. My favorite one is, do you remember the criminally underrated Perfect Weapon with Jeff
Oh my God,
Speakman?
Jeff Speakman, the wallet scene, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this represents the bar fight. Is these four muggers have no idea that Jeff Speakman just witnessed his fucking childhood mentor get murdered. He is chasing down the limo of the murderer. The murderer gets away, the most upset he's ever been, and four guys go, "You're going to want to give me your wallet." And you just go, yes, yes, yes. And it's like the fastest, most brutal.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so fucking good, dude.
It's like, I'm
So
gonna
anyway,
throw it at Kempo, slap the fuck out of you.
yeah. Yeah. That's the kind of shit I love. And I
Yeah.
love like
I
not being
can
afraid
never.
of being.
I just back to Jeff Speakman. The scene when he's ripping apart the bag with the sticks to it's getting kind of hectic.
Yeah.
Lives in my head rent free.
Do you remember what song is playing? Because I do.
Or I will attack, and you don't want that.
Yes.
Hell yeah, dude.
It's the fucking best. It's the fucking
Oh
best,
my
dude.
God.
Oh, that's another thing I love is comedies have done this right. I really love like inappropriate music for fight scenes. So do you remember the Norm Macdonald Dirty Work bar fight?
Oh my God.
Where
Oh, yeah.
he's trying to put on Rolling Stone Street Fighter, and Chris Farley hits the wrong button on the jukebox, and what fucking song comes out? Oh, it's if you like pina coladas,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
they just and there's like bam, chair shot, like right at the
I
drop.
love that. I love that.
It's-
I mean, it's so good,
Mhm.
right? Like, did you see Too Old to Die Young? Did you watch that? There's a car
No.
chase. There's a car chase scene to Barry Manilow's Mandy. It's so awesome.
So good. Well,
So
the opening, I'm not a big car chase guy, but the opening of Baby Driver
Oh, it's the
with
best.
the
Oh,
John
yeah.
Spencer blues explosion song,
Well,
jeez. And then
underrated movie, but do you remember Hudson Hawk?
with Bruce Willis.
And
I remember I was really young and I feel like I saw it on VHS, but so I don't remember it.
I feel like if that movie was they're like, we should remake Hudson Hawk, and then they did Baby Driver.
Cool.
Because the whole entire
Fascinating.
premise of Hudson Hawk was Baby Driver.
Okay.
Basically like this cat burglar who does jobs based on the song and the length
That's right.
of the song.
That's cool. Jeez. Yeah, man. There was also a really dramatic, beautiful fight. So this was an example. What was it called? The
one that the Monkey
like
Man?
Monkey Man. Yeah. So Monkey Man is like, there's not a lot of fights, or at least like hooray fun fights, until like the last half, and it's drama and character. But again, you have fucking Dev Patel. You have this incredible actor, and it's like a build.
Mhm.
And so then when they finally get to this club fight, I remember like there's a point halfway through the fight where it's like some of the most beautiful transcendent music I've ever heard, and it lines up with the fight, and it's just, I mean, it's perfect.
Such a great it's a great movie.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm a huge fan of like, I was just like a 90s, like I was a Tarantino, Kevin Smith, John Hughes, like, and then like martial arts movies. And so I always want to write like that. Blue Belt's like, Yeah, I'm surprised that the first thing I've like put out there publicly that's gaining traction isn't just like crazy fights and stuff like that. Like it's very character based and hopefully funny. Um,
Dude,
but
it's great.
there will be fights.
So
There
let's
will be
just
fights.
say, in a perfect world, what's your worst fear? What are you most apprehensive about when you're like, if this happens, what are the things that you're actually worried about?
Brother, I've lived through my worst fears. Like I have.
And I mean in like productions, like, okay, we love this idea, but forget your crew, forget everything, forget
So
everybody.
let
We
me
want
give
the
you
idea.
a hypothetical because
Yeah.
we had a question like when we were pitching that show. We were asked straight up, if we go with this show, are you willing to recast everything?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. Marissa and James are like my ride or dies. I would recast me before I would replace them.
Mhm.
I don't have interest in being a showrunner. I have interest in being like a writer, a head writer. I would love to be in it. I've had some famous friends when I go, I'll just recast it and have someone famous. They're like, you're kind of the heart of it. But my biggest goal for this is for me, James, and Marissa to be able to use it. My biggest goal is obviously get it made with everybody. Um, my second goal is for everybody to be able to use it to be like, look what I can do. And it just forwards everybody's career. You know, Marissa, in my opinion, should not be producing little indie shorts here. She should be a fucking well-known actress. James should be able to direct whatever the fuck James wants to direct.
Mhm.
And for me, I'm just looking to get my foot in the door
Mm.
as either a writer or an actor. So like, you know, if Tom Hardy, who apparently I got to today, uh, by the way, I
By the
like
way, did you
straight
know
up wrote,
Tom Hardy does jujitsu? Did you know?
I wrote that bit in the show because I was like, this is gonna get to Tom Hardy.
Oh my God!
That's so
I just
funny.
have to tell you, I know this is gonna be a long episode, but it's like this is the third episode. We've had 2 guests already that have fought Tom Hardy.
Mhm,
Right? We had Happy Anderson who fought him in Bike Riders
mhm.
in the movie Bike Riders,
Great.
and then we had
Karate Hottie,
Karate Hottie
Michelle
Michelle
Watterson.
Watterson fought
Oh
him.
yeah, that new one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she fought him, and so now Tom Hardy's coming up again. So here we go.
Yeah. Well, Tom Hardy may be playing Jamie in Blue Belts is my goal. But yeah, like
I
if
was,
somebody,
it's funny. I'm cutting you off again, but
yeah,
when they kept on talking about the other school, in my head, I just immediately was like, the guy who plays fucking Master Ken would, would be absolutely hilarious
so
as like the other instructor for the
I
other
told him
school.
that because I've done some sketches with him and I would love that. I would love it either to be Master Ken and someone who's just like really funny and can play an asshole. And the video we did together, I pitched him something so dark and weird. I'll send it to you. It's one of my favorite things I've ever done. We did it like right as COVID was like winding down. Either someone like that or someone legitimately terrifying, I think
Yeah.
would be really cool. You know, there's another cool opportunity because I was thinking like I was saying I don't want to start posting a bunch of just random shit on Instagram just to like keep the momentum going. But I was thinking about like using some frequent flyer miles and maybe like visiting some of these schools with like the bigger fighters who shared it and doing bits where I'm like playing myself, you know, and almost
Mhm.
like what the studio does with Seth
Mhm.
Rogen. Like we can do that with fighters, right? Like
Sure.
Volkanovski could come into an episode and be a fucking monster. Or like Ron Howard was in the studio, or I don't know. I mean, there's so many opportunities.
Sure.
I just like what I really want is it just to get to someone who has a love of either jujitsu or combat sports and isn't trying to just like turn it into like cliche, broy, whatever. Like, I guess that's my worst fear is that it just turns into like a lowbrow MMA show because MMA happens to be popular right now. I think the thing that makes Blue Belt special is the heart.
Mhm.
And, you know, if Ronnie Chang wanted to play my part, if fucking Tom Hardy, if just a better, younger actor, I would be fine with that.
Charlie Day.
or
Charlie Day, yeah. A less suicidal Charlie Day.
I can't wait until like when Tom Hardy comes into the gym and Mike's sick.
Yeah.
I know. They're the best. But like, I want to act him right. And I want to act him right in action movies and action comedies and shit with heart. And I want to work with good people. You can't start off with the experience like me and automatically get thrown into just like a big studio gross. You know what I mean? Like, I started off with James. Like, I want to continue to find people. And if that means like we raise a bunch of money and do it ourselves, then like, okay. But if we do that, I want to do that right too. I don't want to just like, raise money and break, no one makes anything. And,
Sure.
I spend all day trying to promote it on Instagram. Like, that doesn't sound fun. I think we have something special here. So I'm gonna keep pushing, and then I'm gonna keep writing. I mean, God, I would love to work with you guys on like an action comedy down the line. Like, I just want to work with good fucking people and write these like stories that like we all loved and figure out a way to just do it, my way.
Well, dude, on that note, we're gonna say thank you and say that we'll do everything we possibly fucking can to help you.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thanks for coming on.
It's been great. This has been so great. We could talk for another fucking 5 hours. I feel like.
The second The Perfect Weapon came up and I saw we were over an hour, I was like, fuck, I should have brought that up earlier.
All right, man. Thank you so much, Jamie, for coming on.
Thank you, guys. This means a lot. Thanks.
Awesome.
Film Fights with Friends is produced by Stephen Kepfer, Paul Veracci, Press Record Studios, and Breakball Studios. This episode was engineered by Matthew Kaplowitz. This show is powered by our supporters at Patreon and is a registered trademark of Film Fights with Friends, LLC. Original theme by Aru Luster.